Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday to you. And thank you again so much for being here. We have been having a conversation for several weeks now about social work power and about the transformation of mental health through social work, what our role is. And we've been using an article that we wrote to facilitate part of this conversation, and then hearing from you about some of the things that come up for you as social workers, what this looks like for you, all of this being part of weekly articles that we are publishing, these videos that we're doing on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then also our social work power certificate course that happens on Fridays from 3:30 to 5, all leading to a panel that we're going to be having on the transformation of mental health through social work, and really looking at the different elements and the things that bring us to the conversation, the things also that might prevent us from being in the conversation, what may be coming up for us where there's a barrier there. And I've certainly talked about my own experiences of whatever that barrier might be, and what the experience is. And we've been using, as I said, we've been using one of the articles that has been helping us frame the conversation. So I am going to share that article right now so that we can be in it together. And this article that we have been looking at, let me see. Okay, here we go, is the role of social workers in transforming mental health. And we've been taking it piece by piece as just an opportunity for us to have a conversation. And last time we met, we discussed this particular one, number 4, was about recognizing their pivotal role in driving transformative change within the realm of mental health is essential. And just really taking a look at, how do we see what our roles are? How does that all show up? And today we're going to start with the conversation about recognizing necessity, understanding that the transformation of mental health relies on active involvement of social workers. Whoops. So that's here. So, and I think it's a really great place for us to have a conversation, because one of the things that I think does come up is the question of what does active participation look like? And what is, there's the differences, of course, between active and passive participation. There's, I think I had mentioned the survey that we had put out quite some time ago that was about, what do you think as social workers, what do you think your role is? Where are you in that process? What's your level of willingness in being part of the transformation of mental health? And what do you think that you can do? And there were many mixed communications in there and many mixed experiences. And some of those experiences were things like, I don't know that I have, that I have what it takes to be a part of the transformation of mental health, or I don't know what that's supposed to look like, or, I don't know if I have time or energy, or, or that my responsibilities and the multiple roles I have so far are really taking so much of my experience and so much of my time. I don't even know what this is that you're talking about when you're talking about, that I am necessary in this process. And I think that's a key in this, is about feeling like you really are necessary in this process. I think that there are many times, particularly in my role as a social worker, I felt necessary in the space of doing things, but, and there were times where I got to be part of massive transformations, which was always a very exciting process to be a part of. But, having the experience of it being necessary and recognizing that I'm necessary in that role, is something I think that requires us to take a look at, and just in terms of like, what does that mean to feel like you're necessary, that you're critical, in any change that we want to make, in any shift in how our clients receive care and services, the things that really, really get under our skin about the lack of fairness, right? The lack of access, the lack of, consistency, the way in which the system is structured that sometimes prevents people from actually doing well. That if those are the things that we are frustrated by, and then it behooves us to be a part of the conversation about what we want to do about that next. And because we have always been in this very, very unique position as social workers, that there's not an aspect of anybody's lives when you are a social worker that you don't have the capacity to touch, or that you haven't worked within, whether it's being in people's homes as if, doing field work, or, family therapy in the home, or any number of other ways in which we, throughout the course of somebody's life, from, before somebody's even born till death and beyond death, when we're doing bereavement work, there's no aspect of people's lives that we haven't been privileged to touch. And so we know what the barriers are. We know what the problems are. We know what the circumstances are. We know why these things end up being a challenge. And because of all of that, we really are necessary. We really are necessary in the transformation and the involvement of what a transformed mental health system might look like. And on Friday, when we met, we started talking about the possibility of not even calling it a mental health system, that if we really want it to be inclusive and we really want it to be integrated, it would be transforming a new health system. So that's it for me for today. I look forward to hearing what your comments are. Please put them below, and please join us in the conversation. And I look forward to seeing you all again. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And again, post your comments, and we look forward to seeing you again.